Good evening, everyone. Welcome to 8 Letters Literary Festival. This is our last day at syempre hindi magpapahuli, no? Kailangan bongga yung huling araw ng aming LitFest, okay? For tonight, we are featuring 4 poets. Nakita nyo na rin sila, nakasama na natin sila because we launched their books. Okay? Sa gabing ito, no, isa-isa kung ipapakilala yung ating mga guest at magkakaroon tayo ng live reading ng kanilang poems o yung mga piling akda nila or piling tula, and then konting interview. Okay? So let's have fun, and please share this live stream. Please share this event with hashtag poetry night and then hashtag 8 letters litfest. Okay, so meron tayong 4 na guests. Sabi ko kanina, sila ay sina RC Perez, Gerome Dela Pena, Maria Solei, and Claire Paladin. May nagko-comment agad, excited for this. Hindi ko lang makita yung pangalan. Baka hindi tayo friends. Okay, sige, umpisahan na natin. Ipapakilala ko na yung first na ating guest poet. Okay. Now, R.C. Perez is a Filipino-Canadian poet and teacher. He was born and raised in a rural town in the Philippines and is now based in Toronto. He started sharing his work in 2020, panahon ng pandemya, through Instagram. He writes in simple words about simple subjects in an attempt to embody his concept of magic of the modest, beauty in simplicity. And then, of course, when he launched his book, that was his first book of poetry. When he's not writing, he is busy with baking or origami. He is also a nakakatawa itong nasa kanyang bio. He is also a pineapple on pizza apologist, but we will not judge you, RC. Hello, RC Perez.
Hello.
Hi!
Hi, nice to
Anong
meet you,
oras na
Chris.
sa Canada?
Actually, nasa Pilipinas ako ngayon. So, pareho tayo
Okay,
ng oras.
okay.
Yeah,
Yay!
good
Sana
evening.
okay ang ano
Good evening.
natin. Good evening. Sana okay ang mga internet connection natin lahat, lalo na kakatapos lang nung bagyo. Okay, o
Oh,
sige.
okay
Ready ka na
naman, right?
sa iyong
Mm.
napiling tula? Sige, i-highlight ka na
Then,
namin ha. Yes, isa-spotlight ka namin and then balitaktakan tayo pagkatapos. Alright.
mm,
Good luck.
um, so the first poem that I like to read in my collection is a love poem. Um, because who doesn't love love poems, right? But I'd like to think that in this very short love poem, I'm giving or at least I'm attempting to give a fresher perspective on what love is. Especially, I'm trying to challenge the common sentiment that when we love, love makes us strong. Because while it sounds so romantic at first, I don't think it is empowering at all because it's basically saying that our strength really depends on someone else. So this is called turns. Turns. When I am frail, I know you will be strong. When you find it unbearable, I will carry it for you. No, my love, we do not make each other strong. We take turns being strong for each other. Inside our embrace, there is enough space for weakness. Um, so that's, let me give you another love poem. This is my favorite poem in this collection, my personal favorite, and it's one of the longer poems in my collection. It's called Take Me Anywhere. And if I remember, I also read it during my book launch, but I've always loved reading this book, and it's called this poem, and it's called Take Me Anywhere. Take me anywhere. Take me into the deepest jungle inside your soul, grown from years and years of yearning. Tell me about the monsters I need to tame, and I will tell the story over and over under my breath like muffled prayer until it becomes a promise, until you know the wait is over. Take me to the castles you built out of the broken pieces of love you lost. Some days I will wonder what marvel there is in staring at such fragile majesty. Some days I will wonder and how it's both burden and privilege to know how they once were shattered. Remind me then how easily they could crumble. Take me anywhere with you, far and beyond reach, until finding home is nothing but a wish we once made, until it's but a hazy memory of the days when we were scared. My feet are aching for an adventure, and I'm ready to get lost. Um, I'm going to read another one. Do I still have time? Okay. Another love poem. Um, sorry. Okay. So this is going to be the second to the last because I don't think I have enough time. So it's called Sound of Love, and it's also one of my favorites. If someday somebody asks, what sound did it make for you, the falling in love? I will smile and say, I used to think it would be a loud thumping of the heart, but it was the crackle of leaves being crushed by two pairs of feet walking side by side. And finally, I'd like to read another longer poem in my collection, and I want to read it because I think it fits the event, which is basically in this LitFest is a celebration of our magic as artists, as writers, and um, b- being an artist myself, I think about my legacy, or if I'm, or the difference that I make, if or if I and I'd like to think that this poem is a reassurance that as whether we are artists or professionals or athletes, whatever magic we have, our magic doesn't die because our magic is a light that gives. And so this is called The Light That Gives, and this is the final poem that I'm going to read in my collection. The light that gives. Make no mistake of thinking you can ever lose all your magic. When it's time to put your pen down, when you stop strumming your guitar or dribbling the ball, when you put away your shoes and never to dance again, or when the brush is retired because you are tired, because the applause has already died, your light still shines on. For it is not a candle to be consumed. Your magic is starlight to be scattered all around. It will live in every poem, in every song, in every art you ever made, in every hall, and every court, and every stage you once owned. And every now and then, someone somewhere will stumble upon those tiny specks of you and start a spark in their own astounding light. Thank you so much.
RC. Ayan. Hindi kita nakilala before dahil hindi ako yung nag-host nung launch mo, 'no. So, this is
Yes,
actually the
Miss
first
Sing.
time.
Yeah.
Kasi Cindy, ayan. First time ko marinig
Mhm.
at ang ganda-ganda rhythm nung iyong tula. At siyempre because of how you read it na rin, ano. So,
Mhm.
para din sa akin at dun sa ibang, mga hindi nakadalo nung book launch mo, konting ano lang, konting chika lang ano before we let you go. Okay. Ano yung naging inspiration mo for Magic of the Modest?
Ayun. Ayun, thank you for the question. Um, si Roald Dahl, sa isang quote niya, sa isa sa mga book niya, sinabi niya, um, Nakalimutan ko na yata. Sabi niya, and above else, watch with glittering eyes the whole world around you, because the greatest secrets are always hidden in the most unlikely places. So ito actually yung pinaka-inspirasyon nung collection ko, na gusto kong magsulat ng mga tula tungkol sa mga bagay na mga simple, ordinary, the mundane, at yung magic na nakikita natin or maaari nating matagpuan sa kanila kapag nag-observe lang tayo. Kaya yung book ko, I often describe it as a journey na kasi hinati ko to sa 4 na chapters, and bawat isang chapter ay about sa magic ng, kunwari, yung chapter 1 is called Padayon, and the magic that we find in carrying on. Yung chapter 2 is called Paglaom, or the magic that we find in looking forward. Tapos yung chapter 3 is called Tawhay, or the magic that we find in letting it be. It's about inner peace, acceptance, and self-love. And finally, yung chapter 4 are all love poems, kaya tinawag ko itong Hiwaga, or the mystery and the magic of love. So, ayun, bali, yun yung pinaka-inspiration ng book na Magic of the Modest.
Nakakatuwa, ano, teka lang, parang naglalag yata ako. Parang naglalag yung connection ko. Nakakatuwa kasi yung susunod ko sanang tatanong nga sa'yo is, what is the metaphor? Parang if you would look for a metaphor for your book. Nasagot mo na siya, ang galing, ano? Para tayo nag-usap sa ating mga, para tayo ano tawag doon? Telepathy. Okay,
Telepathy.
yung last question ko na lang bago ka umalis, ano, is, when after this book was published, ano na yung naging realizations mo? Meron ka bang parang, sana nailagay ko sa book? Or meron ka bang parang thinking na, gusto ko pa ulit magsulat na isa pa na after nitong Magic of the Modest?
Siguro yung lagi ko lang tumatatak sa isip ko na before publishing this book, kasi parang it started as a parang passion project, parang ganon. Pero hindi ko in-expect na yung sa mga makakabasa na may makaka-appreciate. And yun yung parang laging kapag iniisip ko yung about sa book ko and yung journey ko ng pag-publish, yun yung laging parang take away ko na parang ang daming hindi na ibig sabihin parang nakakataba lang ng puso na kapag may nakaka-appreciate, may nagsasabi sa'yo, may nag-reach out sa'yo or nag-message sa'yo na I enjoyed reading your book, or one of your poems in your book has made a difference. Parang ganon. So, parang isa siyang motivation to write more poetry. Kaya, ayun, I'm trying to compile another collection of poetry. So, yun. So, kaya sobrang thankful ako sa lahat ng mga bumili sa 8Letters at nagbasa at most especially yung nagbigay ng feedback. Lahat ng feedback na nare-receive ko about sa book ay sobrang na-appreciate ko.
Ayan. At syempre dahil kumbaga maganda rin naman ang iyong tula, talaga naman maganda rin ang feedback. Maganda rin ang feedback ng readers natin.
Ayun.
Maraming salamat, RC, no, sa pagbibigay ng pagbabahagi ng iyong tula at saka pagbibigay na rin ng oras, no, kahit na very short lang, 15 minutes, pero mahalaga na rin yung 15 minutes para sa amin na napaunlakan mo kami. Thank you so much, RC.
Maraming salamat din sa pag-iimbita at saka sa din pag na-nominate sa book ko as ano ba yun, Best Poetry Collection. Sobrang na-appreciate ko talaga at congratulations din pala sa 8Letters para sa isang napaka-successful na event. Nag-enjoy akong panoorin yung mga video, especially dun yung video ng about sa mga authors ng mitolohiya. So yun, maraming salamat and congratulations sa successful event. Salamat sa
Thank you so much. See you around. Ayan. Hindi ko alam kung ako ay nagla-late, nade-delay ng 5 minuto kasi parang ang bagal nung parang nababagalan ako dun sa aking sa monitor ko, no. So pasensya na po. I don't know if it's the glitch, but there we saw RC Perez, no? We saw RC Perez, we heard his poem. Okay, kung akala nyo yun na ang huli, hindi yun ang huli. May maraming kasunod, 3 pang authors, kaabang-abang. Stay tuned lang kayo dyan. Now, for the next guest naman, ito nakausap ko to, no? At nakikita ko ang kanyang mga tweets. Tweets ngayon na, syempre, medyo poetic din yung tweets niya. Poet nga kasi siya, no? Okay. At marami siyang mga ganap sa buhay at marami na rin siyang successful projects at mga nailimbag na libro. Idol ko to eh. Okay, si Gerome Dela Pena ay kasalukuyang mag-aral sa programang PhD, malikhaing pagsulat sa ilalim ng Departamento ng Filipino at Panitikan ng Pilipinas sa Universidad ng Pilipinas, Diliman. Siya ay nagtapos ng Master ng Artes sa Filipino-Lohia. Diyos ko, nakakatong twister naman ito, Jerome. Sa Pamantasan ng Lungsod ng Marikina. Ayan, no? Lapit lang. At kursong BSed Filipino sa Pamantasan ng Lungsod ng Pasig, kung saan siya naging Pangulo ng University Student Council at ng Samahan ng mga Mag-aaral sa Filipino. Kaya naisulat niya ang isang koleksyon ng mga tula sa kanyang pag-graduadong thesis. Isa rin siyang creative director at host ng kanyang GMTV, isang online platform na nagsusulong ng pagbabasa at panitikan sa kasalukuyan. At siya rin ay isang guro ng Filipino at panitikan sa Manila, Taytana Colleges. Sorry kung na-butcher ko yung pronunciation. At Our Lady of Fatima University, Antipolo. Okay, sige, i-welcome na natin si Gerome Dela Pena. Hello.
Hi Chris, ay ma'am. Magandang gabi sa lahat. Okay naman yung audio ko.
Yes, okay ang audio.
Okay,
Okay na
sige,
okay
sige.
ang audio. Malinaw. Okay,
Thank
kamusta?
you.
Kamusta ka, Jerome?
Okay lang, kanina nga niisip ko yung habang narinig ko yung tula ni RC. Sobrang nakaka-amaze talaga minsan na makarinig nung mga gantong kagaganda, punong-puno ng mga imahen ng mga tula. So nakaka-refresh. Sana makapagsulat din ako sa English, gaya nyo. And
Kaya-kaya niyo yun. Diyos ko, kayang-kaya niyo yun. Kayo pa.
salamat.
Loading nga kita. Okay, o sige. Isa-spotlight ka na namin ni Aya at mamaya tanungan ulit tayo. Okay, good luck!
Ayan, magandang gabi sa lahat. Pagbati sa 8Letters, sa lahat ng mga nanonood ngayon sa LitFest, ganap talaga to annually. Talagang sobrang salamat dahil naging bahagi ako nito. Ayan, so bilang bahagi ng Poetry Night ay magbabasa ako ng ilang bahagi ng Suong, tapos tula mula naman sa pedestrian, mga tula. So available parehas ito sa 8Letters, sa website at sa kanilang mga iba't ibang mga platforms. So basahin ko yung 116 na sinulat ko dito sa Suong. 116. Tweet ito. Sabi nga kanina na-introduce naman, tweet siya. Pagka-aphorism yung mga dating. So number 116, minsan, nasa ibang dila ang tunay na laman ng puso. Diba? Nasa ibang dila yung tunay na laman ng puso. So nagtatry akong magsulat ng ibang mga danas, ganun. Mga kwento ng kaibigan nito. Nanonood siya ngayon, hindi ko lang babanggit ito sino. Pero kwento ito ng isang kaibigang guru din. So, yan, basahin natin. Ang title nito ay Baso o Bote. Yan. Mula sa pedestrian at iba pang mga tula. Ito yung book. Okay. Tila isang napakalaking hamon sa iyo ang pagpili. Ilalagay mo ba sa baso at daragdagan ng yelo para mas suwabe ang daloy sa lalamunan o lalagokin na lang sa mismong bote ang alak na nasa harapan? Umikot na muli ang usapan. Naungkat ang lihim mong pag-ibig na pinupulutan ng mga kainuman. Niragasan ng bagyo ang isipan. Humigpit bigla ang kapit mo sa bote ng alak at sa basong naghihintay na mapunan. Isasalin ba ang laman o mananatiling nasa orihinal nitong lalagyan? Hindi ka na lamang umimik kahit kabi-kabila ang kantsawan. Napagdesisyonan mo na lamang nalagukin ng walang lamig na serbesa. Dumaloy ang pait sa lalamunan na matagal nang hindi nasasayaran. Umagos ang katotohanan. Naisip mong tama ang naging desisyon. Ayos lang na mapangiwi sa lasa at malunod sa pighati ng pagpili. Dahil para sa iyo, wala ng alak o serbesa. Ang mas papait pa sa inililihim mong pag-ibig na hindi mo maamin-amin sa kanya. So, isa itong nakitaya ako ng mga tula na nakabatay naman sa iba-ibang mga bagay na matatagpuan lang sa araw-araw na tagpo sa buhay. So ito nga yung tulang baso o bote na technically parang pang-asar ko lang doon sa isang kaibigan barkada, pero sineryoso yung pagsulat ng tula. So yun yung una kong tulang binasa, pinamagatang baso o bote. Para mula pa rin sa pedestrian ito pang mga tula. Ito naman, naging kanta ito ng isang guro sa Philippine Normal University, si Sir Joel Costa Malabanan, si Dr. Joel Malabanan. Available ito sa kanyang isang album, kung doon nagkakamali, o parang ano yata, ano ba to? Tawag dito. Isa sa mga SoundCloud, no? Parang yan. Sige, basahin natin mula pa rin sa pedestrian mga tula. Nakasusugat din ang mga patak ng ulan. Naaalala mo siya sa gitna ng luha ng panahon. Gumuguhit sa iyong gunita ang tamis ng inyong kahapon. Habang dinig ang bawat patak at dama ang lamig. Sa iyong puso'y patuloy na nakatarak ang sandali ng inyong pagniniig. Kumikirot ang puso, bumabagal ang pintig. Nagdurugo ang mundong puno ng dating pag-ibig. Malamig ang simoy ng hangin, tila mga piraso ng salaming sumusugat sa iyong pagtingin. Dahil di mo man maamin, dama ng patak ng ulan at haplos ng hangin. Dahil di mo man maamin, dama ng patak ng ulan at haplos ng hangin, ang hindi mo pinakakawalang damdamin. Di ba? Isang tahi ng mga ng mga sad boy poems nila, charot. Isang tahi ito ng mga tula na, di ba? Sabi ko nga doon sa una kong binasang aphorism sa Suong, minsan yung tunay na laman ng damdamin nasa ibang dila. So, di ba ganoon naman tayo pag nagbabasa tayo, may mga chances na yung nararamdaman mo ngayon, kung ano yung mga agam-agam mo, di ba? Yung mga pananaw mo ngayon, yung mga dinaramdam mo, ay mababasa mo sa ibang mga panulat. So, yun yung eksaktong dahilan kung bakit marami din sa mga tulang na isulat ko dito sa pedestrian ay nasa ganong poetika. Sige, tuloy na natin. Itong ikatlong tula, yung last kong babasahin, dahil medyo limited yung ating oras. So, ang title ito ay Larawan. Pinagmamasdan ko ang iyong ngiti na matagal ding nanatili sa kanlungan ng aking kalupi. Ito ang pinakapaborito kong kurba ng iyong katawan. Pinalilipad ako sa bawat gaan at bigat ng mundo. Alam kong isa kang pangarap na naghugis tao. Isang anghel, iniwan ng sariling pakpak sa ulap. Bumabalik ang lahat kong gunita habang tangan-tangan ka saan man dinadala ang tulad ko ng tadhana. Hindi sumukot nagbago ang kadalisayan ng bawat linya ng mukhang ipinahiram sa iyo ni Bathala. Kahit ilang beses ko mang tinangkang burahin ang iyong kulay sa naglalagablab na apoy ng pagdududa at lunuri ng iyong kabuuan sa karagatan ng kawalang tiwala. Nanatili kang walang bahid ng galit. Pagmamasdan ko pa rin ang ngiting kailanman darating, hindi kailanman darating ang paglipas. Pagmamasdan ko pa rin ang ngiting hindi kailanman darating ang paglipas. Pagkat sa kanlungan ng aking alaala, hindi ka makararanas ng pagkupas. Maraming salamat sa pakikinig. Pagbati, 8Letters Literary Fest, Poetry Night, sa lahat ng aking mga mamabasa, sa aking mga kapwa-guro at mag-aaral. Pagbati sa lahat ng mga Pilipino, maligayang buwan ng panitikang Pilipino. Salamat.
Ayan, maraming salamat Jerome sa iyong mga tula. Okay, bago tayo punta dun sa susunod na guest, no, matanong lang kita. Dun sa tatlong binasa mo or sa tatlong, ilan na yung libro mo sa 8 Letters? Dalawa kasi yung nakita ko, Suong tsaka Pedestrian. May isa pa ba?
Yung PM, sa 8 letters din yun.
Okay. Sa tatlong libro na yun, ano yung pinaka-special para sa'yo? O,
Ako
syempre
lagi
may
ako natatanong dito. Actually, very special yung etong pedestrian. Dahil ito yung una kong attempt ng serious poetry. So, dati parang, ang gulong. Nagsimula talaga ako sa Talisay, nag-start ako sa Maikling Kwento, Kwento Pambata. Pero dito sa pedestrian, ay, try ko nga itong angst ko sa tula. Ayun. So, normally, ito talaga yung pinakamarami nakabasa. Kaya sobrang
mhm.
nostalgic din na binabasa ko to ngayon dito sa 8 Letters. Pero baka magtampo yung PM sa Suong. Pare-parehas lang naman. Baka magtampo sa akin.
Kumbaga mga anak-anak yan eh, no? Yan. Sa mga anak, wala ko dapat favoritism. Okay.
Tama.
Anong, ano naman yung parang realization mo? O parang, siguro wisdom na lang, ganyan.
Mhm.
Doon naman sa lahat na narinig ko sa'yo, lahat yun packed with wisdom, no? Pero ikaw bilang manunulat, ano yung takeaway wisdom mo pagkatapos mong maisulat na tong all of these three books? I think Suong is the last one ba? Or PM? Ano yung
Yung
pinaka-recent na?
recent yung Suong. Actually.
Oo, yun. So after,
Mhm.
babawa, nakikita mo lahat nung sinulat mo, ano yung parang nagiging wisdom? May nabubuo bang wisdom dyan? Ganyan.
Actually, lagi ito kapag nakakatapos ako ng project, ganyan, no? Kaya nababasa na ng
Mm.
iba. Parang dati, iniisip ko, pag nakapag-publish ako, tapos na eh. Parang, ay, hindi, ito yung pangarap ko lang, di ba? Parang, sabi
Mm.
nila, pag namatay ka daw, maalala ka sa mga sinulat mo, para pwede na yun. Pero, nagbibigay siya ng kakaibang hope, itong mga projects na to na, hindi dito natatapos, marami pa ako makikilala, marami pa ako makakausap, mga landas na lalakaran, di ba? Kaya nga pedestrian din, kasi lagi naman tayong manlalakbay ng buhay, di ba? Bilang mga manunulat, no? So, yun, siguro yun yung pinakaiwan ko na wisdom o dunong talaga, no? Dito sa aking mga naisulat na tula. Laging hindi ito pagkasala ng aklat ng aking pagsulat, kung hindi panibago pagbubukas ng mga posibilidad dahil ang panitikan naman mula kay Dr. Romeo Pena ay isang libot isang posibilidad.
Ganda naman nun. Each book is a journey, no? Each book has a, what, isang libo? Isang libo ba? 1,000
Hmm.
possibilities. Maraming salamat, Jerome. It's always a pleasure to chat with you. No? Ang dami-dami ko rin natututunan. Tsaka, yun nga,
Tama.
parang si RC kanina, pag nagsasalita ka, wow, parang may poetry reading pa rin, ha? Ang dami mong quotable quotes talaga. Okay, thank you. At meron ka bang project ngayon? May WIP ka ba ngayon? Meron ka
Actually,
bang event?
mayroon akong tinatrabaho ngayon na ano naman, collection siya ng mga sanaysay dahil medyo
Mhm.
kumota na tayo sa tula. So,
Mm.
ngayon sa aking PhD, nagtatry ako sa dissertation ko, nagtatry ako ng sanaysay, parang kalipunan ng sanaysay tungkol sa isang community ng mga persons with disability. So, yun. Abangan nyo soon, sana mai-share ko rin sa inyo. Bala ko din 8 Letters yun ilabas. Salamat.
Okay, support natin ang ating writers, ano, ang ating artists, si RC, si Jerome, and of course, yung dalawa naman mamaya, no, yung dalawa pa nating guest. Thank you, Jerome, and see you virtually. Okay, have a
Thank you,
great week.
salamat, mabuhay kayo lahat.
Buhay ka rin. Okay. Ayan. Now, we're down to the last two poets. Okay. Yung kanina, syempre, the two guys, medyo magkakalapit ang aming age. No? Ngayon, naman, yung kasunod nating mga poets, mas bata naman to. No? Of course, wala naman sa edad yan, pero gusto kong marinig. No? Magandang marinig din yung wisdom, tsaka yung makita yung talent ng mga younger writers. Sige, tingnan natin. No? Itong next ko naman na i-introduce sa inyo. No? When she was 5, she learned about rhymes from a teacher more sour than alive. Okay. Then when she was 8, her handwriting wasn't great, but literature came to her as if by fate. Bat rhymes with cat like Dr. Seuss's Cat in a Hat. When she was homeschooled, it wasn't just this and that. She wrote quite often. She scribbled as much as she learned. She traveled places far where the sun barely burned, but she still learned of the people from her place of birth. Okay, So kung napansin niyo yung binasa ko na bio, yung binasa ko introduction, ay nagra-rhyme din ano. May konti lang ako variation kasi yung style na yan talaga ay yan ay inherent dun sa ating sa style ng ating author, no. Ganun talaga siya magsulat, nakakatuwa, bago at medyo quirky. Okay, sige, wag din natin patagalin to. Let's welcome Maria Solei.
Hi.
Hi, Maria Solei. Welcome back. Welcome back. Yay. I'm so happy to see you again. All right. Now, how many poems are you going to read for us?
Just two because they're
Okay.
quite lengthy.
Okay. All right. Take it away.
Thank you. But before I start, I would like to just do a shout out because people messaged me and I don't want to keep them waiting. So shout out to Kevin Francisco and Leigh Verona and Tita Melvin and his family and MJ Malabanan and family, Ricky Santiago and family, Andrew Bate and family, Teddy Bagilat and Trevon Bagilat, and lastly the Blonde and Rodriguez family. I shall start now. So the first one is Epiphany at Skyway 7, and I actually wrote this when I was in a car on the Skyway. If only the sky were like your face, then the world wouldn't be in such a race. As soft wisps of wind dance above your hair, humanity would finally think that life is fair. These wonderful words create reality. Sleeping at night would no longer make sense to me. If only the birds would fly above all the people in love. Why do we think the world is cruel? It just isn't. It was made pure. Humanity is said to be destroyed by materiality, but it is humanity that destroyed materiality. Aren't we all real, therefore material? We mustn't only think of ourselves as ethereal, otherwise it's just proof that we are only material. It isn't the body but the soul that is the core of our being. That is the reason why we have feelings. I shall end this epiphany quickly, for time passes by without any consent from me. And the next one is A Youth's Robbery. My bones crack. I am old. I remember when I was young and had a cold. I am 14 today, but I feel as if my youth has been taken away. I feel as if life's no different from death. Time seems eternal as I am held tight. I want to throw all my dreams away, for I feel like there will be no someday. I remember the night when I was young, I would dance and run, just pure fun. To the world I'm a child today, but if only they see my soul, youth has left me yesterday. Thanks. You're on mute, Chris.
Ayan. My voice is back. Thank you so much, Maria. It's again, I love hearing your poems because they're full of insights. I mean, always when I get to meet young poets, young writers, I marvel at your talent. Talaga natutuwa ako because your poem. I've read the entirety of your poems, your collection. They're full of depth. No, sobrang lalim. So for those who were not able to see Maria during her book launch, because I was the one who hosted that. Okay, I'm gonna ask you just two or three questions. Okay, where do you get this depth, this understanding? Because like I said, it's not bababaw. These poems are not just lengthy, but it's packed with so much wisdom from a teenager. Where did you get that? How did you get that?
I don't know. I just live my life, and then after living, when I rest, or when I just think, it just happens to just come to me, and I kind of sometimes fall into a trance, and then sometimes, and even if my parents would call me, I would never really notice them until they call maybe 10 times later. That's when I answer. I really can't explain it well.
It's okay. It's okay. Actually, I liked your answer. No, that you just lived life. Many adults forget to live life, and it's good to hear that from you. For us to have that wisdom, we need to experience life. I love that. I love that. I'm going to coach you for that. Thank you, Maria. Okay, my next question is, after having published this book. Okay, were you able to connect the readers, or were readers were there readers who connected with you, who told you, oh, we're experiencing the same, we're experiencing the same, we could relate to what you wrote? Was there an instance of this already?
Well, I would say my first readers ever, even before I had the idea of publishing this, was my parents, because I usually
Mm.
share my works with them first before the rest of the world. And they would just tell me, "Oh, you made me think of my days when I was your age," and they would say they would just start remembering things and telling stories. And of course, my friends and their parents would actually ask me questions about my works. And yeah.
Your parents must be really proud, and I'd like have a shout out muna. Hello, Sir Bradwell. Okay. Hello, Sir Bradwell. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being so supportive of Maria. Okay, next question, and probably the last question I'll be asking for this segment. Um, what's next after Epiphanies and Formalities? I mean, is there
Well,
a project?
of course, there's always a project all the time,
Mm-hmm.
but you're just it's just up to the author or the curator to whether to share it with the rest of the world or to just enjoy it to himself or herself and his or her loved ones. But of course, I've been writing a lot lately, but I'm not sure yet if I will share it, and it takes a lot of time. So we'll just see. Life happens, so it'll come.
I like the theme of our conversation. Life happens. We're not very sure, but there's always those ideas. There's always those plans for the projects, but life happens, and instead of like planning so much, what we do is to just experience life, live each day. I love that. Thank you,
Thank
Maria. Thank you, Maria. It's
you.
just what 15 minutes of poetry reading and chit chat, but I'm getting a lot from you. I mean, you're I think
Yeah.
you're not even half of my age, but I'm learning a lot from you. Okay, it's also like this when I met you, like the first time I met you,
Thank you.
when when you launch your book and you don't change, you don't seem to change. Yeah.
I just
Okay, go
I
ahead, go ahead, go
just
ahead.
want to say that it was funny when you mentioned 15 minutes and I'm 15. That's all.
It's synchronicity. 15. Okay. I don't know. I think you're the youngest writer we've ever had. Okay.
So,
There's an author here who says you're 15, but your wisdom is that of a 50-year-old.
thank
you're
you.
you're actually 50 years old because of your deep poetry, because of the depth of your poetry. That's a
Thank you.
compliment. That's a compliment.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you so much, Maria. I would love to see more of your works. Okay, I'm sure that you're just 15, and maybe next year, maybe 2 years after, who knows. But don't forget to live life. As a teenager, you need that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye bye. All right. Down to the last poet. Young poet pa rin siya, okay, pero a little older than Maria. Okay, nakausap ko na rin siya before. Ako din yung nakapag-interview sa kanya. Okay. Our last guest writer started her writing career in 2015 as a hobby, and then she continued writing and won her first spoken word poetry contest. as a champion back in the year 2017. Okay, she hates her handwriting and it did not stop her from writing. And until now, in the present, she's writing poetry. First on a scratch paper full of math problems, which she never tried to solve. And what does she write about? She writes about love, loss, life, and sometimes erotic thoughts that, whatever those erotic thoughts are. Okay. Again, no judgment. We love all types of poetry. Okay. And she also plays a lot of musical instruments. Please welcome Claire Paladin. Is it Paladin or Paladin? Hello, Claire.
Hello po. Good evening po.
I forgot how your last name is pronounced. Is it Paladin? Paladin.
Paladin po.
Paladin.
Yes po, opo.
Okay. Claire
It's okay.
Paladin. Ayun.
Um,
Okay. Alright. Sige, ikaw muna. Ikaw muna ngayon sa spotlight and then mamaya babalik ako to, talk with you. Alright?
yes po. Thank you
Courage?
po.
Okay.
Hello po. Good evening. I'm gonna read some of my literary pieces from my book called Things I Told the Moon and Stars. Risk. The first piece is called Risk. Risk. I am the risk that you aren't willing to take, but still, you're the mistake that I'm willing to make. Even if my heart aches, even if my heart breaks, you're still the one that I won't forsake. Renee, would you do the same? Okay. The next piece is called The Chosen One. I was the music you never chose to hear. I was the book you never chose to read. And I was the coffee you never chose to drink. I was the person you never chose to think. The next piece is called Lost in Poetry. I see myself lost in poetry and escaping this cruel reality, living in papers and inks where the story of us exists, where I can hold your hands longer. The next piece is called Alone. Alone. I remember it so clearly, how you treated me so badly. How can you say you love me when you left me alone, lost in the sea? The next piece is called Blindness. You only see me in your darkest nights and neglect me in your brightest days. Just like the stars, you can only see and appreciate me during your darkest hours. So that's all for my poetry reading tonight. Thank you po sa pakikinig.
Mute. Unmute. Okay. Ang daming bloopers naman. Ang dami kong bloopers. Okay. Claire, I remember when I interviewed you, no, during the, what do you call that, book launch.
Yes
Parang,
po.
uh, ang na-highlight nun yung love problems. Teka lang. Parang merong nagsasalita. Wait lang. Ano ba? Okay. Oh no, baka ako lang yung nakakarinig nagsasalita. Parang may echo. Sorry, teka, tanggalin ko lang. Teka lang ha. Parang kasi may nag-echo. Ayan. Okay ba? Can you hear me?
Opo, opo.
Okay, loud and clear? Alright. So, as I was saying, when I interviewed you, ang naging highlight nung aklat mo is more love din naman. Ito love din to, di ba? Parang dun ko nga na tanong yata kung ito ba ay hango sa totoong buhay. If I'm not mistaken. Parang may ganun din akong tanong. Okay. Pero was that last year ba? When we had the talk?
Yes po.
Last
August.
year, ano? Ayun,
Opo,
kasi senior high school ka pa noon. Okay, ngayon naman, a year after, nagbago ba? May nagbago ba sa pananaw mo? I mean, when you wrote these poems ba, yung ba ay the same person na kaharap ko ngayon o medyo, ano na, parang nag-level up ba or may nagkaroon ba ng changes?
Sa amin po, dalawa po.
Pwedeng you as a person, you as a poet.
Maybe po, when it comes to writing po, malaki po yung pagkaiba ko from last year.
How so? Bakit?
Kasi po, if i-compare ko po yung mga writings ko dati kumpara ngayon, very mature na po siya pakinggan. Opo. So, yun.
After a year, nagkaroon ka na ng ganong pagbabago, then nag-mature na. Ano kaya yung naging nito? Ano yung parang naging factor? Kasi
Siguro
1 year
po,
na.
Sabi po kasi nila kapag tumatanda po yung tao, nagiging wise. So, I think time po yung parang naging factor ng ganun.
Parang time heals all wounds ba yan?
Opo, parang ganun naman. Opo.
Right. Now, yung second question ko naman is, dahil sabi mo nga na kapag parang feeling mo nag-mature, no, yung poetry mo.
Opo.
Ano na yung aabangan namin na, I mean, what kind of writer or creator are you now? Meron ka bang parang siniset na ito na yung gusto ko na makilala ako ng tao na ganito, yeah, 'di ba? Meron ka bang ganong thinking or wala pa naman sa ngayon? Meron pinoposition mo na ba yung sarili mo na okay, talaga mag-iiba na yung mga poems ko, ganyan. Medyo mature na talaga sila, seryoso na.
I was thinking po na mag-stop sa writing.
Why? Bakit?
Para po maka-focus po sa like buhay. No. So maybe hindi po ako mag-release ng book anytime soon siguro.
Parang nalungkot naman ako doon. Pero hindi, that doesn't mean naman na you'll like stop permanently. Hindi naman. Babalik ka ba?
Opo.
Break lang, parang gano'n, parang pause. Okay, may break lang ng konti sa pagsusulat. Tama naman yun. Kasi di ba guys, kung gusto natin minsan may matapos sa project or pahinga-pahinga muna, okay lang na at least nakapag-release tayo ng isang libro. No? Okay, one last question for you, Claire. Dun sa tinagal-tagal na panahon, hindi naman ganun katagal, pero 'di ba, relatively matagal, na nailimbag mo yung aklat mo. Syempre, nagkaroon ka ng readers, nagkaroon ka ng fans, na followers. Okay. Tapos hanggang dito sa nagkaroon ka na ng decision to pause muna from writing poetry or from writing altogether. Ano yung lesson learned mo? That one very important lesson that you learned from that time that you published this book until the present about writing or about life. Ikaw bahala.
Siguro po, hindi lang po friend yung magiging outlet mo when it comes na magkaroon ka ng problema. Meron rin po paper and pen na mag-comfort sa'yo. So, yun po yung biggest lesson na nag-gain ko from writing.
Pero, kailangan mo na, iwanan mo muna si paper and pen.
Yes po.
Sa ngayon, okay.
Opo.
Importante ang paper and pen as our friends, pero paminsan-minsan, may iba tayong friend na pupuntahan mga tao. Okay? Minsan ang friend natin ay thesis. So, why not? Dahil magka-college ka na or college ka na ba?
Magka-college na po.
Ayan, tama-tama. Okay lang pala yun. Okay lang pala na mag-pause ng kaunti kasi ito yung ano na to iba na yung labanan pag college ano. Okay. But
Opo.
I hope that after a year maybe no you come back, 'di ba? Maganda ang
Yes.
akda mo and sayang naman kung hindi namin masisilayan at maririnig ulit. Okay. All right. Thank you so much Claire and
Thank you din
congratulations.
po. Thank
Congratulations
you.
on your book. Flash natin ng isa pang one more time, Aya, yung libro, no? Yung Things I Told, tama pa ako? That one? Things I Told the Moon and Stars? Tama ba yung title natin? Aya? Ano, andyan pa ba si Aya? O nawala si Aya? Do you have the book with you, Claire?
Yes po, opo.
Ayan na lang, ayan. Yun, ayan. I think I'm sure may copy pa ang 8 letters dyan. Okay, so if you want to order, makaka-order tayo sa 8 letters. Lahat ng books na nakita nyo ngayong araw na ito ay nasa 8 letters pa. Siyempre, may marami pang kopya. We would like to invite you to buy and support our authors. Thank you, Claire. I
Thank
enjoyed
you din
this
po.
segment. Alright.
Happy
Ayan,
Easter
pahabol.
po.
Pahabol. Parang nagbabuffer yata. Okay lang. Sige. Thank you so much.
Opo.
Alright. Again, thank you to everyone who watched, shared, okay, who shared and commented. Kina Melvin, kina Sir Ruel, and to Grazel, Jeffrey. Konting shout out lang. Lizette, kay Anna. Who else? Kay Vin, may nakita na akong Vin kanina. Okay. And of course, sa mga iba niyo pang friends who would like to have a replay or gustong humabol ng pakikinig doon sa poems kanina, please feel free to share this live stream. Okay? Of course, kahit tapos na yung actual na event, pwede yan itong mapanood. So keep on sharing and keep on supporting our indie authors. Okay? So maraming salamat. This formally ends 8 Letters LitFest. Okay, sub muna ako sa ating CEO na si Cindy Wong. We'll see you again guys next week and in the weeks after para sa mga book launches at sa iba pang mga pa-call for submissions and activities. Thank you so much guys. Good evening.